This week, I have the last SUSD candidates, Carine, Werner, and Amy Carney. Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Haygood. Last week, we featured 3 of the 5 SUSD candidates running for the board. This week, we have the last remaining candidates. We have Carine, Werner, and Amy Carney. Please, please, please go do your due diligence. It's your right to vote. It's your voice. It matters. It counts. Your vote counts. So go do your research and pick the best candidate for you. I'm going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to have Carine Werner at the table with me. We've heard commercials for those other insurance agents, but when it comes to someone who knows Scottsdale in the insurance business, there's only one person you can trust with your stuff, and that's Jeremy Mueller of State Farm Insurance. Jeremy and his team of agents have been helping Scottsdale for over 20 years. From big purchases to rentals, there is nothing Jeremy can't cover at the best rate with the best service. Don't believe me? Then give him a call yourself at 480-515-5523 or find him on the web at jeremymueller.com. Carine Werner is a mom of 3 SUSD students that just graduated recently. She moved to the U.S. at the age of 11 without speaking a bit of English, but she had a large sense of pride when she walked into her public school on that first day. Since then, Carine has dedicated herself to further help the public school system. Attending dozens of school board meetings, sitting on committees and boards, Carine is running with a focus on education. Carine Werner, thank you so much for joining me at the table today. I just want to ask you very simply, why is this position important to you?
Well, thank you for having me on. And, my name is spelled kind of funny, so some people will sometimes say Carine, and I actually answer to both.
Okay.
Because
that's fair.
I am very, very comfortable with it. So, my kids, I moved here specifically to put my kids in Scottsdale Unified. So they've attended Cherokee, Cocopah, Chaparral, and Saguaro. And I feel like my daughter graduating in 2014, I feel like she got an excellent merit-based education. And all of my kids have had a good experience with Scottsdale. And I just started noticing differences in how our kids were being educated. So I started digging into that. But more importantly, having experienced the tumultuous years with children in schools over the last few years and really experiencing the frustration and pain that our students and families have gone through, I want to bring back that common sense leadership. And I really have an enduring passion for securing our children's future. And we have to respect our parents, really empower them to be involved. They belong back in our classrooms. I know that when my children were younger, I was in the classroom all the time. And teachers need a helping hand sometimes, and so and that's not happening anymore. At some of the campuses, parents are still not allowed on campus. So it's really time to start building back and building consensus, not compromising our values, and restoring that trust and respect and transparency in our schools again.
Carine, what do you think is a key issue that the board needs to undertake to ensure that our children are getting the best education here in Scottsdale?
Oh, that's a loaded question. There's a lot going on now, but I do have to start with SUSD has a lot of great things going for it, and it's been under international media attention for some pretty scandalous things, and it's unfortunate because we have so much good going for us. But I think there's a few key issues that we need to address, and that is the parents' rejection. Our students have left in droves. Just from September 2nd to September 2021 to 2022, we lost 430 students. And from the families that I've spoken to, there's a theme to why they're leaving. Some of the politics in the classrooms and just unhappiness with the actual academics that are going on. And that has to be addressed. And I have a plan for that, so I'm always happy to share that. We have to really work on stopping and reversing the enrollment decline and the loss of funding. So every time that a student leaves, a portion of that money goes with them to whatever school they go to, right? Or so we lose that. There's been funding going to the wrong areas. So being spent on social media campaigns, being spent on outside consultants, and that has to be reined in and put back into the classroom where it belongs. We need to pay our teachers first. We need to pay them more. We need to raise the base pay. A stipend is not a raise. And just like our superintendent, he gets bonuses for great performances, so should our teachers. And the number one priority for funding has to be our teachers in our classrooms. And right now, there's a lot of money going to administrative bloat, outside consultants, and just areas where it doesn't belong. And we can really dig into that budget and reallocate some money and also make sure that we're spending the money that we do have and not just letting it sit in accounts all over the place. And we have to improve the academic performance. And right now, the academics is getting pushed to the bottom and is less important than social activism and social issues, when we really need to pull that back and put academics at the forefront and give our students what they need there. And so what's happening is that instructional time is being used on other things besides academics. And with the learning loss from the COVID years, we need to be focusing on academics first so that we can increase their achievement. So currently, there's not a single high school in SUSD that is graduating their students at an above 50% proficiency rates. So that means that 50% of the students, when they graduate, are not at proficiency levels in English, language arts, and math. And that's atrocious. And our children deserve better, and our community deserves better. And I have to also ensure safety. And this is going to tie into a little question coming down regarding some of the things that Scottsdale has done well. But it is something that we have to work on, and we have to remove the politics from our classrooms.
Carine, you kind of just brought this up, but my next question is talking about the funding and some of that stuff that you just mentioned. It's a hot topic button issue. We talk about it often. It's on the override is on the ballot again this year, along with your vote or your candidates running, Our teachers, like you mentioned, they're some of the lowest paid in the country. Our students are some of the lowest funded in the country. How are we going to use our money better here in the district, and how are you going to work with the board to do that?
So the legislators last session added an additional $1 billion to K-12 funding. And there are parameters to that funding that it has to be used to pay teachers and funding our classroom first, which we have to do. I will always use my vote to put them first. And additionally, when it comes to funding, we received nearly $30 million in ESSER funding, which is the COVID funds. And last I checked, about a month and a half ago, we still had $15 million left of that funding. So we really have to take a look at and fine-tune where our money is, how much we have, and where it's going. And so with the override, knowing the facts, all the money that is coming in, all the money that we do have, and the override does not go to pay teachers. I met with, there was some town halls that SUSD did, and Shannon Crozier and the superintendent and some other people were there, and they showed us the different buckets. And you can go to susd.org and click on the budget. It will actually show you what those things are. But it's not going to our teachers. And the current override also does not expire till June of 2024. So is it fair, and this is the question for the voters that go out and are going to vote on this, is it fair to increase taxes for our residents at this time, knowing that the override doesn't expire till June of 2024, all the additional funding that's coming into our schools, the money that we're already sitting on that has not been utilized or utilized properly, is it fair to add this to our taxpayers now, or is this something that would be better served in an election next year? And I am all for funding our schools, and I do believe that our teachers in our classrooms are our number one priority when it comes to funding. And I think at this time, this is something that I'd like to get in there and review the budget some more, and which I have done. I actually sat down with the current budget director of the state, and we reviewed the full budget for 2022 and 2023. And there's some extra stuff there that we were able to find. So I would like to move this to next year. Let's see what we really need, because it is important that we fund our teachers in classrooms first. But at this time, for this month, I don't think that it's a good well, it's really unfair to our residents. So, but it's something that I would champion if it was needed, and we see that next year when everything has been put into place.
Karen, you mentioned earlier in your answer to the reputation of the Scottsdale Unified School Board made some national news and not in a good way this year. How are you going to work with other board members in a nonpartisan way to ensure that our kids are put first in your decision making?
So this is one of my favorite questions. I have been working with administrators in the school. I've served on committees, and I meet with administrators fairly regularly, and I have excellent relationships. So administrators reach out to me probably weekly. I have teachers who reach out to me. And sitting on a board, you're one of 5 votes. And not everybody's going to like you or have the same opinion as you. So it's really, really important to be able to communicate in a way that really enroll people into your vision, and so they can come to terms with what I would be proposing and really see it for their own reasons. And that's really coming to a full agreement. I would never expect anyone, if I came in and just told people what to do, that was going to cause an effective change. We have to be able to influence and be an effective influencer of change and have people really buy in for the ideas or policies that we would like to put forward. And it is unfortunate that the SUSD has taken so much negative media. But we also have to do better. We had some incidents in North Scottsdale School regarding a teacher that was telling students that they could choose their own gender. 2 of those children were Jan Dubowskis' children, and she filed a proper report on complaining against that. And it was really unfortunate that the leadership decided to make the parents wrong and really push them out instead of using that opportunity to bring us together. And the district failed there. They hired somebody that was not properly trained to handle a situation like that. And it was completely unfair to her, just like it was unfair to our parents and our community to have that kind of negative light. Well, to have the experience with the children, but also to have it shed such a negative light on our community.
Mm-hmm. To change the subject to a positive, we do talk a lot about what needs improvement, what's going wrong, what's bad, and what's not working. I want to hear from you, Karen. What do you think the district is doing right now for our students?
So they are doing a lot of things right, and they're doing a great job elevating and recognizing students and teachers what they have done well. I think that this is a positive because we have so many great programs that my children benefited from. So one of my children took the sports med program at Saguaro High School and participated as an athletic trainer aide, and subsequently decided to take EVET and became a certified EMT when he left high school. I mean, this is fabulous. The relationship between our district and EVET is amazing, and it gives children and students really that great opportunity to grow. So maybe college is not where they want to go, right? Well, this now gives them an opportunity to come out workforce ready and to explore things that they would not have otherwise done. Another thing, we had an incident at Arcadia High School in May related to a gun. And what our school did great, it was negative media, and people are campaigning on it. And it's kind of sickening because our students did it right. Our security officers, our police officers, everyone did everything within the way they were supposed to, and there was never an actual threat to our students. And we are doing things right there. When that event happened, parents reached out to me, and I was very fortunate to have relationships inside of the school and was able to get information. It's very fortunate that our school was prepared, and our everyone from the teachers to the students to the SROs did the absolute right thing, and none of our students were ever in danger. And I really applaud them for handling the situation the way that they did.
Thank you, Karen, for joining me at the table today. To learn more about Karen Werner and why her voice matters and what she's running for, please go visit her website at wernerforsusd.com. That's WERNER for SUSD.com. Again, this will be in the description of this episode. You can click right on the link. Best of luck to you and the rest of the candidates. We all want that perfect smile. So who better to call for all your dental needs than Dr. Rob DeVito at Arizona Center for Laser Dentistry. Dr. DeVito and his staff offer the best dental experience. Whether it's time for your routine cleaning, one-of-a-kind laser dental treatment, or teeth whitening, their same-day service saves you time and money. And as a mom of 2 little ones, trust me, this is exactly what I need. Give Dr. DeVito a call at 480-990-1905. You can also find him on the web at drdevito.com. Amy Carney is a mom to 6, 4 former SUSD students and 2 currently in the school system. She's a freelance writer with 2 published books. Amy has always had a big heart for kids. She and her family were foster parents before adopting their youngest 2 children. She has seen what can happen in kids when they don't have the education and love a family can give. Amy is running as an extension of her current mission of strengthening children, families, education, and community. Amy, thank you so much for joining me at the table. I want to start like I asked every other candidate. Tell me why this position is so important to you.
Well, it's important to me because I didn't ever know it was important, I think, until the past few years. And my kids were home from, educating from school. And I realized that we need to get more involved as parents in outside of maybe just the classroom, right? And get more involved in what's going on as a whole in the district and what's going on with decisions that are being made for our children. And so it is a natural extension, like you said, of how I've already been living my life personally and professionally. And I just want to serve at a higher level.
What is the key issue, Amy, you feel the board needs to undertake to ensure that our children are getting their best education?
Well, I think we've got to get serious about losing teachers and losing students. And we've got to ask why. And we've got to start simply at that. Why are we losing our educators? Why are we losing students? And work to bring them back. And we do have exit surveys already been given in the district, but I think we need to take the answers to heart and even go into the community of why are families not putting their children in our public schools and listen to them. And then we need to pivot to create an educational product that our community wants. We need to bring people back, and we need to create a culture of community that I feel like we used to have, and I want to be a part of bringing that back.
Very nice. Funding, it's a hot topic. It's always been a hot topic issue. The override is on the bill this election too. Our teachers, as you were just kind of talking about, our teachers are some of the lowest paid in the nation. Our students are some of the lowest funded in the country. We live in a wealthy district that is still having these problems. What are you going to do to make this more transparent to the community about the funding in our school system?
Yeah, I think that's something we all agree on, that we need more transparency, right? Where is our funding going? Where is money going? And as we've seen, our district got $29 million of ESSER funding and COVID relief funds. And where have we spent that money? And where we still have about, I think, $14 million left to spend. So they have done a good job of transparency on that. But overall, I look forward to getting in there and checking out where are we spending our money and our budget. I brought a little pamphlet because I'm looking at something. I live in Paradise Valley, and this is something our town does, and it's called a Popular Annual Financial Report. And it says, in the spirit of transparency and full disclosure in financial reporting, we're pleased to present Paradise Valley's Popular Annual Financial Report. So it's just a means of transparency and showing people. Now, maybe we can't print a little booklet, but it's something we can break down easier for families, for community members to see how we're spending our money. So it's not a guessing game. And we need to make sure that our teachers are getting paid more and more money is making it into our classrooms first.
The SUSD board hasn't had the best reputation this past year. How are you, Amy, going to work with other board members in a nonpartisan way to ensure that our kids are put first?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, our kids need to come first. Their education is first and foremost. And I think it's really important that we have board members who have had children in our schools and who even have children like myself in the schools, who've built relationships through the years, who have been invested and involved in our schools, so that people already know who you are and they know that you do care about the schools and our students and the district, and that you're all of a sudden not just popping up saying you care, but we're not really sure because you haven't proven that to us yet. So I think that's really important. I'm on SUSD's Novels Review Committee for middle school and high school. And there's 20-some people on that committee from all walks of life, right? And I think it's really important that we can all come together and make decisions that are best for children's education. And I've proven to do that. One of my strengths is relationships, finding common ground with anyone. And we can easily do that if we are always thinking of our students and their education first.
We constantly talk about what needs improvement, what's not working, what's going wrong. Amy, I want to hear from you about something the district is doing right currently.
Well, I think they're doing a great job with school safety and putting money into making sure our school buildings are secure. We've got SROs on most of our campuses. My son's middle school last year, I think your children are at the same school, they had an incident in March, actually, where there was an armed man just outside of our campus, and the school was on lockdown, and it was scary, right? As a parent, you're getting that notice that that's happening. But thank goodness for the SRO who was able to apprehend him, and all is well. And so I'm thankful that our district has been putting, the safety of our staff and our students first and foremost. And I agree with even trying to get an SRO on every campus, because we're not there yet. But that's been proven to absolutely work and be beneficial to our entire community.
Tell me, Amy, why Amy Carney for SUSD School Board?
Well, like I said, I'm a mom of 6. I've been invested and involved in the district since my kids stepped foot onto campus in 2008. So I've built relationships through all these years. I care about our students. I care about our schools, our teachers, and I care about our community. And I think our public schools must be a strong pillar of our community, right? And especially now with ESAs available to all, we want to make sure we're providing, a top education experience. We don't want to lose people. We want to bring more people back to our schools.
Thank you so much, Amy, for joining me at the table. To find out more about Amy Carney and what she's doing for SUSD and what she's running for, please go visit her website at amycarneyforsusd.com. Again, all of this will be in the description of the episode, so go click on the link. Thank you and best of luck, Amy.
Thanks for having me.
With over 20 years of experience in real estate, Sean Shackleton, the Shackleton Group, is ready for you. Sean is a well-respected, full-time agent that is always at the forefront of both market trends and market technology. Most importantly, she is a realtor who will listen and always put your needs first. It's no wonder Sean is named as one of America's top 100 real estate agents. So whether you're buying or selling or need a good neighbor, call Sean at the Shackleton Group at 480-734-7277 or find them on the web at theshackletongroup.com. The calendar of events is brought to you by Notre Dame Prep. Go find the saint in you by visiting ndpsaints.org. Well, it is Halloween weekend. Go be spooky. Have a great time. So many of the hotels are having Halloween parties, so check those out. Or stay home and stay cozy watching spooky movies. I'm personally a fan of some of the classics like House on Haunted Hill, maybe a little creepy Exorcist in there. But the suspenseful ones, not the gory ones, tend to be my favorite. Some of the hotels having parties are the Princess, Phoenician, W Hotel, and more. They're all over. Go have a good time. That's the most important thing. Before you hit the town and be all spooky in your Halloween costume, Kierland Wine and Art Festival is happening this weekend, October 29th and 30th. So come explore Arizona's wine regions with wine tasting from 15 of the state's best wineries. You'll stroll down Main Street, listen to live music, enjoy some art. Glasses start at $35 for 10 tastings. You can go click the link in the show notes of this episode, and it'll take you right there to the tickets. Another thing that I'm super excited is back Canal Convergence at Scottsdale Waterfront. This starts November 4th through the 13th. It is a one-of-a-kind art from local and international artists. The show will start lighting up around 6 p.m. every night on the waterfront. Again, all this information is in the show description of this episode. Don't forget to click subscribe. We are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, on all your podcast listening apps. Give me a rate. Tell me what you want to hear more of, less of. I'm here to help you enjoy our wonderful community in Scottsdale. Have a wonderful week, Scottsdale. Keep vibing, and I'll see you around town.